router somehow, and so it's not going to be webcast live, but it will be posted to our Wild Rose Moon Media site later in the switched version of this, so you'll be able to see the switched version. But first, before we do that, John, I would like you to play the theme song so we can all practice singing, because at the end of the show, we need your voices to join us. So here's the song. Just look at the lyrics. And oh, go ahead. No. Here, I'll just play this song. River goes round, around the bend. River goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, till the river goes round, it won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. That's great. And if you want to do that funny little part at the end and act in character round and round and round, you're welcome to join me. Okay? All right. Right. Round and round. Okay. So I think we're about ready. We have the applause, our applause maestro here today. Michelle Schricker.
It's almost like walking with while chewing gum, or. All right, yeah, there you go. I wanted to jump in here real quick before we take off. Now that Michelle's got you all revved up, I'm gonna be Debbie Downer here and tell you that. Now is the time to take your cell phones out of your pockets and mute them. And if you have any Doritos you need to eat, or any large bags of chips to open, or cellophane candy wrapped, do all that now in the next 2 seconds. 1001, and then we're gonna. All right, have a great radio show, everybody, and I'm really excited you're all here. Thank you.
John, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you look ready. New hat, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So you want me to go?
Go ahead. In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. Oh, the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Judith Robert and in memory of our good friend Tom Kapasinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and the Indiana Arts Commission and E. Lee Marshall. From historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Lincoln Highway and Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River, it's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. I'm your announcer, Maggie Kubley, and joining us on our program today is a 3-woman supergroup from Chicagoland and the region. In 2008, Sue Fink invited both Amy Dixon-Kolar and Patti Shaffner to join her for an in-the-round gig opportunity. She thought their varied styles, Sue's whimsical songs, Patti's forays into folk and jazz, and Amy's impressive finger-picking with folk, Celtic, and blues influences would make for an interesting evening. How pleased they were to discover they loved performing together. As they continued to grow together, they began to feel as sisters in song. With a beautiful live album of their group and numerous albums representing their individual careers, let's welcome the wondrous SongSisters to our stage. Also appearing today is a songwriter from South Bend, Indiana, who just blew the room away during our open mic with one of her beautiful ballads, which she'll be performing today. Let's welcome Evie Barton to the Wild Rose Moon stage. And now, recorded live from the Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center in historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Art Deco Reese Theater is now enjoying its second lifetime of excitement and inspiration for the benefit of the local and regional community. Here is the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker.
The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's so great to be here. And Maggie, you've been doing some work over there at the high school here, right?
I have been doing some work over there,
You have some students over there that you're working with.
I do. I am a proud coach of the Plymouth High School speech team.
Wow.
And I'm excited to say that the students of the Plymouth High School speech team, as we speak, are at state speaking their speeches in the state tournament.
Oh, well, let's cheer them on. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And we have some exciting words from our resident soothsayer and historian, don't we, today?
That's correct, Maestro. We have words of wisdom shared in a note by our resident poet and philosopher, Rosie. Rosie sits atop my announcing booth here at the Moon and is ringed with wild roses around her head, multicolored braids down her back, and is attired in a silken dress with pea green leather petals. Rosie sits, pensive and ready to dispense thoughts that are, in the words of Carl the skateboarder, both rad and gnarly. Her philosophical notes spring from her hands, both of which are verdant green leaves. With us today to read Rosie's note is Michelle Schricker, a lecturer in the School of Social Work at Indiana University South Bend and a licensed clinical social worker. John, could you help us properly welcome Rosie and Michelle to our Wild Rose Moon stage?
We have a note from Rosie. This note was wrote by Rosie. It's a wonder of a note, fresh off a ferry boat. If we voted on a quote, this note we'd vote the goat. We have a note from Rosie.
These words are from Jane Addams. She was a famous social worker. She was born in 1860 and she passed in 1935, and she's well known in our social work field. She was an American settlement activist, a reformer, social worker, socialist, public administrator, and author. She was an important leader in the history of social work and women's suffrage in the United States. Jane Addams co-founded Chicago's Hull House, one of America's most famous settlement houses that still exists today in Chicago. You can go and visit it. It provided extensive social services to the poor, to the underserved, and largely immigrant families. And settlement houses, as a result of that, sprung up all over the United States. In 1910, Jane Addams was awarded an honorary Master of Arts degree from Yale University, becoming the first woman to receive an honorary degree from that school. In 1920, Jane co-founded the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU. An advocate for world peace and recognized as a founder of the social work profession in the United States, in 1931, Jane Addams became the first American woman to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Here are her words that help describe her passion for a kinder and more just community. The good we secure for ourselves is precarious and uncertain until it is secured for all of us and incorporated into our common life.
Thanks to both Michelle and Rosie for providing us with those motivating words from Jane Addams.
And John Baylor. Look at you all the way over here in your fancy new hat.
I have been.
You've got a tie on. It's sort of 50s, isn't it? Kind of a
50s?
Is it a Is it a throwback? It looks like to me.
No, I was trying to look with it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you're.
I thought these were the ties the kids are wearing these days.
Oh, yeah, to school, I'm sure. Anyway, what have you? I heard your band maybe is back up and running. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, my band was never really like totally shut down.
Yeah.
Well, I guess everybody's band was sort of shut down for a little bit.
Right.
And we were just doing a couple shows a year here and there, and mostly that was just two of us. We'd been a four-piece for a long time, and me and Aaron Nicely were two of the founding members, and kind of always the main figures in the group that did most of the lead singing. We stuck together. But we picked one of our original members back up, and we made a decision. You know, we all got, well, two of us anyways, me and Aaron, we've got families, we got wives and 2 kids each. And we thought, well, we better just do like one show a month. Because one year, I mean, we were doing like 70 or 80 shows,
right,
you know,
right.
like down there, keeping pretty busy. We thought we'll slow it down a little bit. And so far, we have not been very successful at that.
That would
so
be
the
my
band
guess.
is up and
knowing
running
you.
again.
Yes, well, that's good. Well, we'll have to have them on the show sometime. That'll be great.
Yep.
And speaking of the show, I think we should get to our major interest here, the SongSisters. Let's welcome them again to our stage. And the SongSisters, just to describe, are Amy Dixon-Kolar, Patti Shaffner, and Sue Fink right here. And we're so pleased to have you with us today. Do you have a song ready to start this show?
Yes, we do.
Well, I'd like you to go right to it before we start blabbing.
I've decided to be happy. I've decided to be glad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I've decided to let go of all this pain tonight. I've decided to let go of all these demons inside. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I know I don't need more. I've got what I came for. I've decided to be open to the little voice inside telling me I'm beautiful. It's okay to be alive. I've decided to be kinder to myself when I feel sad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I know I don't need more. I've got what I came for. Thank you. Thank you.
It's so lovely to have a song like that in the world. It's so healing for all of us. I really appreciate you doing that. And we'll take you one at a time. Is that okay? We'll start with Amy. Amy, you are from Illinois, and from a small, teeny, tiny, itsy, bitsy,
little bit bigger than that.
Oh, okay. And it's between Barrington
And Crystal Lake. It's this
Crystal
little
Lake.
town called Fox River Grove.
Well, that's a beautiful name. Yeah. So, did you grow up in Fox River Grove?
No, I'm actually from Philadelphia.
Oh.
And we moved out to Illinois when I was, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade. And then we lived around, and I ended up with my husband in Fox River Grove about 30 years ago.
Wow. And do you live in the country there, or do you live in town?
It's a suburb at this point.
Yeah.
It used to be called the Sticks, and now as suburbs have grown and come out, we're just kind
From
of
Chicago, it just
they just keep going out, and so
That's
we're
right.
not as much the Sticks as we used to be.
Right. And so you were talking about you were performing pretty early,
Right.
and you had a lot of music around you.
Yeah, my dad was an amateur drummer, jazz drummer, and we always had jazz playing in the house. And then my mother was deeply in love with any music, still is, any music that's out there. So we would be listening to opera, and we'd be listening to folk music, and we'd be listening to anything that she could find. And she also played the guitar, so I actually started to learn from her when I was about 8.
Wow. So that's great. And I see you have that beautiful tailor there.
Yeah.
When did you acquire that in your performing career?
I used to teach full-time, and I retired from teaching, and I had this amount of money that I knew I would never have again.
Yes.
And so that was when I said, I'm going to buy a good guitar.
And you did.
And I did.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's great. Patty.
Yes.
Okay, I know. I guess you've been here a number of times, and we've had you featured on the show, doing a song on the middle slot there of the show,
Right.
and but we've had you a lot, and but you have a theatrical background too, right?
I
Maybe you do
do.
too.
Actually, she does.
Yeah.
And yes, I do. But I didn't start doing theater until 1987. So I was in my 30s already. Not that I wasn't theatrical before then. I just didn't find my
So
way
were you
to the
playing guitar
stage.
before that?
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
had been singing professionally for probably about 8 years at the time that I stepped onto the stage and fell in love with it.
And you're up in Three Oaks. You've been at Acorn a
Oh,
number
lots,
of times,
yeah.
and entered their contests and done real well in those.
Yes,
In the
I have.
songwriting contest. But what a great thing that is, Acorn. That's-
I love being up at the Acorn. They are another, just like the Moon, they are another venue that looks for the local talent
Yes.
as well as the national and larger acts and keeps the community together in that way. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that about what the Acorn has done. And I truly appreciate that about the Moon.
Well, thank you. They're a great place. I really enjoy visiting
really are.
there and seeing acts there. Sue,
Hi,
now you're living. Now you're actually living in Chicago,
I am.
And in the Windy City.
In the Windy City.
And you're there, and you're close to the Montrose Bird Sanctuary.
I am. I love it. I can walk over there. And it doesn't feel like you're in the city at all. It feels like you're out in. Well, you are. You're out in the sanctuary. It's just a beautiful area. The birds come from all over. I like to identify them by their call.
Yeah, and you talked in. We had an interview earlier on Zoom. We did a big Zoom interview to find out about each other, and you were talking about a kind of doppelganger that hung out with you when you came to stage or something, a different persona. Is that right?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Well, so I kind of came at music backwards. I a short story and poetry writing, and then one day I wrote something and I thought it might be a song, so I took a songwriting class with Andrew Calhoun, and it was determined it was a song. So then I was like, well, now I got to learn how to play and sing. So it was like backwards. And then when I first got onto stage, I thought I was going to have possibly a heart attack. But what happened is my persona came on, and my persona is like me, but just thinks everybody loves her and was very confident. It has none of my quirks, and so that's what happens.
Yeah.
It was just really lucky.
Yeah, could I borrow that persona?
If I could only
that would
figure out
help.
how that works. Yeah.
Anyway, can you do another song for us?
Sure. You have the guitar in your hand, Sue. Why don't you?
Do, and I'm gonna just make sure we're still in tune as I'm telling you this story. So we each write our own songs, and this song is about two sisters who happen to be planets, Earth and Venus. They're sister planets, and as you radio audience may know, the planets rotate around the sun in a counterclockwise way, except for Venus. She goes clockwise, and Earth. I said rotate, but I meant orbit. Mm-hmm. Earth rotates on her axis 24 hours. That's our day, of course. Venus, 243 Earth days for one Venus day. I'm just saying. But they're sisters. The scientists decided they're sisters. And if you have an earthly sibling, you know that these relationships can be fraught with complexities. And with that in mind, this is Earth Sings to Venus. Venus, my sister, you're such a slow spinner, almost one of my years, and you're just starting dinner. You languish so languid, I can't speak your language, you're magnetic, low energy. But everyone says you're so hot, literally you're even hotter than little old Mercury. Venus, we share the same size and same mass, but we're different as sisters could be. Yes, me with my moon while you have none. You rotate backwards while orbiting the sun. Stillness and silence, and I come undone. Talk to me, talk to me.
Talk to me,
Talk to me.
Venus, my sister, your glow is so bright. Sometimes I see you in my deepest night. When you overtake me, I see you by day. Morning star, evening star, morning star, evening. You do as you please. You always have gone your own way. Yes, me with my moon while you have none. You rotate backwards while orbiting the sun. Still you're silent and I come undone. Talk to me, talk to me.
talk to me,
Talk to me.
Talk to me. Your air is poisonous, toxic and dangerous. I have my oceans, my creatures that swim, walk, or fly. Still you're a beauty with clouds that can't rain. Your volcanic plains, your wrinkly ridges, your redness, your richness. Oh, I want to be with you, though I can't even say why. self-aware. You're backwards and barren. Still you spin by like you haven't a care in the world, so to speak, while here I am stuck with mankind. I feel like they're killing me, Venus. We each have our burdens to bear in the universe, bear in the universe, barren, barren, barren. The universe stretches on for infinity. Maybe there's others like you and like me. We could vacate our orbits. Let's travel and see. Oh, Venus, we're different as any two sisters could be. Yes, me with my moon, while you have none. You're eternal retrograde. I'm undone. I just want to connect with something or someone. Talk to me, talk to me. 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 Talk to me.
Well, clearly the planets are talking through all of you today. This is such a joy. We're going to be back in just a little bit. I want you to stay on stage, though, because you are part of the game show. Oh. So you need to be here and ready to go. That's right. That's right. We're going to go. So we'll be back with another special guest from South Bend, songwriter and musician Evie Barton. And, of course, also in the works is our famous Shoot the Moon game show, in which questions are asked that are biographically connected to our special musical guests.
With support from Judith Robert and in memory of our dear friend, Tom Kapasinskis, and from the generosity of the Marshall County Community Foundation, the Indiana Arts Commission, and E. Lee Marshall, you're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're here with Evie Barton. We are so excited to have you. You came to open mic and just blew us all away with this lovely song. I heard it and I thought, man, this is like a universal kind of piece that would fit well into the folk song repertoire, like in Sing Out or something. But let's talk a little bit about your background. You were born in Paris, France, is that correct?
I was, yeah.
Wow. Well, like were you born in the whole city, or just
I was actually born in a little suburb called I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
But Paris.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story of how we ended up there, because my sister and I were born in France, but our parents were German. And my dad was a rocket scientist. And his work is what brought he and my mother to Paris. And then he worked there for 7 years. And my sister and I were born there. And then we came to this country when his former colleagues who had come to America, they said, hey, you come over here. So that's...
And you ended up in Shaker Heights?
Shaker Heights, Ohio.
Yeah,
that's
lot of
right,
famous people have come
up.
from Shaker Heights.
Paul Newman went to the same high school that I went to. Yay, Paul Newman.
Not at the same time.
No, unfortunately, that would have been nice.
Yeah, a lot of famous people from Shaker
Yeah.
Heights. And it says here that you went to the University of California,
I did. I
Santa
went,
Barbara.
yes, where I met my husband, David Barton.
Okay.
He was my music theory teacher.
Okay. Well, that sounds like very romantic
It was,
Yeah.
and
and supercharged.
supercharged.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We came here in 1977 when David was hired to be a music professor at Indiana University South Bend.
Yeah.
So that's what
great.
brought us here.
And I wanted to ask you one other question,
Sure.
and that is, there's a story that you are connected with, or with saving the oaks around the Potawatomi Park
Yes.
Zoo, right?
Yes, that's true.
And I love those oaks.
Yeah. What had happened was I was friends at the time with an elderly couple, and the wife, she called me up and she was horrified by what was going to happen. I think they were going to cut down like 65 oaks to make a parking lot for the zoo. And her name was Lucille, and she said, Evie, I'm too old to do anything about this, but you're not, so promise me you will. And I did. I went to the newspaper. I started forming, I forget how I did it, but we ended up saving all but one oak.
That's great. Let's give her a
Yeah.
hand. That's tremendous. Well, this song that you're going to do, I'm going to let you introduce it, but I was just hypnotized by it. And it's online already in our open, because we put our open mic up.
Yeah.
We put 4 players from our open mic last time, and Evie's song was in there. But I'm really looking forward to this. So you talk about this song and do it, and
Okay.
and I'll see you later. Okay?
All right, George, thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of the show. I'm deeply honored. Normally, when I write a song, I'm usually playing piano or guitar, and the music, the words, the melody, everything comes, including the accompaniment. They all comes at once. This is the only song I've written where I remember it was a Saturday afternoon, and all of a sudden I started singing. And the melody came and the words came. Maybe in 15 minutes, there it was. And I was stunned. It was like, whoa, where did that come from? But very grateful for it. And then the hard part was figuring out how to harmonize it on the keyboard. And that actually took me a couple of hours, but I did figure it out. So this is my rendition of the song that just came through me, for which I am very, very grateful, and it's called If I Were a Flower. If I were a flower, I would bloom at night when the world is sleeping. I would get it right. No one there to tell me which petals to unfurl. I would simply blossom, give beauty to the world. If I were a planet, I would be the one close just be here. I'd let my blossoms open without doubt or fear, knowing that it's safe for me to just be here, knowing that it's safe for me to just be here.
Evie Barton.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from our hometown to yours, the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour presents our very own audience participation quiz show, Shoot the Moon.
It don't matter to me how smart you are. Maybe you're a big buffoon. You don't need to be quick on the draw. All you gotta do is shoot the moon. Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon.
And now here's the host of Shoot the Moon, the original colonist of little-used words, and an often chuffy, twisticle, and gut-foundered fellow of ribald jollification, George Schricker.
Thank you for that twisted and twistical introduction. I really appreciate that. And while the contestants are already standing here, but while they're standing here, would you mind reading the rules of this woefully contrived yet mentally challenging extravaganza?
Certainly.
Thank you
Prior
very
to the
much.
show, audience members indicate their willingness to participate in Shoot the Moon by supplying an answer to this inane survey question. Are you now, or have you ever been, a student of behavioral psychology? And with that question answered in a demonstrably random manner with any number of attendant variables distinguishing the method a person might freely choose, or so they may deceptively think, in the affirmative, and as a result be needlessly subjected to this further interrogation. Are you ready, willing, and able to gently access your remarkable yet environmentally predetermined being in an often silly and self-deprecating manner in the futile attempt to answer a series of capricious and often ill-conceived questions?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Okay, and now, from a collection of audience members who have learned to push a button to ask for a stimulating electrical shock while executing a short series of gymnastic maneuvers during which they must stick their landing inside a circle of laboratory rodents, singing the words, "Of course, of course, of course you can," while drinking cheese-flavored espresso, exactly 2 contestants are chosen to pit their wits against each other. So, now, let's play Shoot the Moon!
All right, and we have 2 wonderful contestants here. Ryan Loving, I'm going to turn to you first, and you are from Niles, Michigan.
All the way.
Oh my gosh, I've been to Niles many times.
It's a great place to come visit.
It is.
And live.
It is, I agree with you. And it says here that you're a foodie. What does that mean? Do you cook?
Oh, I cook, I eat, I go to places where I can cook and eat or just eat.
Okay.
Like being in the Windy City yesterday and having sushi at a fine restaurant. So yeah,
Oh,
just make the
that's
rounds.
very good. All right, and it says also that you've had the honor of living in 30 different states.
Yes, not incarcerated, but 30 different states. Lived and
Okay,
traveled.
they didn't move you around in prison. Okay, well that's good. Well, and Dirk Shorter, I think we're old friends.
Well,
I
yes,
haven't seen you for a while.
full disclosure here, yes.
Yeah.
George and I are old friends.
And now he's actually played bass for me on occasion. And also, it says here that you played with Pine Top Perkins. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I was really lucky and blessed to meet him about 20 years ago now, and got to play with him for a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, I
It
know
was fun.
you're an avid reader and you love to listen to music and you play out. I see any way you
Yeah,
have?
since COVID, I haven't done much, but yeah, for
Yeah.
20 years, I played,
All
50 to
over.
100 shows a year.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I think we better get started on this game here. So we have some questions, don't we?
Yes. The 4 categories are Wait Till the Midnight Hour, Royalty Arrives in Town, Medea on the Mall, and Water Bugging.
And we'll go with you, Ryan, first. Which one would you like?
Let's try Royalty Arrives in
In
Old
Town. That's the longest question for me to read. Okay. All right. Chicago's famed Old Town neighborhood had become the epicenter of Chicago's emerging music scene, and there was a guy named Earl Pianki, and he knew there was an opportunity to join the movement of all that music and make something special, so he opened the Earl of Old Town in 1962. And he was very confident he could get people in the door. He just didn't know how. The Earl featured a lot of live music, a lot of great people. It was a listening room, said one of Chicago folk veteran. Have you ever heard of Chris Farrell? Chris Farrell, okay. Yeah, you came to hear the music. The performers would actually shush you, if you were making noise. And it was a bar, too. But they'd quiet you down, throw beer at you. It was a unique place, and it was a lot of different people performed there. During this time that it was open, a songwriter stopped in and presented Earl Pianki of Earl Old Town with a version of the song City of New Orleans about the waning days of railroad travel. Earl, right then and there, predicted the song would become a classic, and indeed the song became a hit in 1972, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Easy Listening chart and 18 on the Hot 100 chart. Who wrote the song? Was it A, Arlo Guthrie, B, Willie Nelson, C, Steve Goodman, or D, John Prine? City of New Orleans, written by A, Arlo Guthrie, B, Willie Nelson, C, Goodman, or D, John Prine.
You emphasize the D. Do I take the D? Probably not. I'm looking around. I'm stumped.
You're stumped.
I'm stumped.
You have to say one. You just have to claim a letter. You
let's-
could get help from the audience if you wanted to.
If I
But
were
don't,
to
they
say-
can't do it. They got to do it with their hands.
Sue? I pick Sue as my lifeline.
Okay, Sue, who was it?
Steve Goodman.
Steve Goodman. Okay. All right. Okay, Dirk. What category do you want now that we've eliminated royalty?
I think I'll take Wait Till the Midnight Hour.
Wait till the midnight hour. Okay. This is interesting. And also something you ladies can chime in on if you have any information. The Midnight Special is a syndicated radio show broadcast on Chicago, Illinois radio station, WFMT FM 98.7. Since 1953, it's one of the longest running radio shows in Chicago. It is a showcase for folk and roots music from historical and contemporary artists. The show also features comedy sketches and show tunes. The official description is folk music and farce, show tunes and satire, madness and escape. It's a little like Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour, I think. The show is named after the well-known folk song of the same name, which is often associated with Leadbelly, whose version of the song is used as the show's opening theme. The show title also tied into its time slot, as it was broadcast on WFMT near midnight every Saturday. It now begins at 9 p.m. and ends at midnight, and is Chicago's longest-running radio program. The show was originally created by who? Was it A, Win Strachey, the co-founder of the Old Town School of Folk Music? B, Big Bill Brunzi, an American blues singer, songwriter, and guitarist? C, Mike Nichols, a comedian, writer, actor, and director of, among other things, The Graduate? Sally Fingerett, a singer-songwriter and founding mother of the Four Bitchin' Babes?
I'd go with the first one, George. Strucky.
It's not right. Mike Nichols. That's right. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You didn't really get a chance to choose a lifeline, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, that's all right.
Okay. All right. So, well, what's the score? Yeah. Oh, that's right. This board talks. That's great.
Howard the talking.
Let's give Howard Gibbs a nice hand for him. Yeah. He's not wearing his camouflage today, but sometimes he wears camouflage, like a brick T-shirt. Okay. All right. So where are we? We're back to you, Ryan. What would you like to choose here?
Water. We'll go with
Water bugging.
Bugging.
Okay. All right. Waterbug Records is a small independent record label founded in 1992 and based in Glen Ellen, Illinois, specializing in singer-songwriters and traditional folk musicians who do original research. The label was founded as an artist cooperative label in 1992 by singer-songwriter Andrew Calhoun. The founder of this record company described the label in a column written for Sing Out. Waterbug is largely an artist co-op. All the artists own their recordings and publishing rights. 20 artists contribute a song, and part of the cost of manufacturing a label sampler, which each of us sell from the stage for $5. We are working cooperatively to help each other get heard. The label features the work of recording artists such as Andrew Bird, Aaron Corday, Kat Eggleston, and Sloan Wainwright. It was founded by what noted Chicago songwriter?
I'm going for a lifeline again. Sue.
No, was it A?
No.
They'll tell you.
There was too long of a pause there.
Was it A, John Prine, B, Mark Dvorak, C, Ed Holstein, and D, I'll give you a clue, it's already been heard, Andrew Calhoun.
Andrew Calhoun.
Exactly right. Give him a nice hand.
That was
So what's our score now?
Ryan is in the lead with 2,
Oh, no.
while Dirk has 0.
And what do we have late? We got to get you on the board.
Medea on the Mall, apparently.
Okay. All right. Here we go. As you may already know, Medea is an ancient Greek tragedy written by Euripides based upon the myth of Jason and Medea and first produced in 431 BC. The plot centers on the actions of Medea, a former princess of the kingdom of Colchis and the wife of Jason. She finds her position in the Greek world threatened as Jason leaves her for a Greek princess of Corinth. Medea takes vengeance on Jason by murdering his new wife as well as her own 2 sons, after which she escapes to Athens to start a new life. Amongst many of Evie Barton's accomplishments, one includes a cast member of Medea, a Robert Wilson production in 1981 performed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. This production was noted for which one of the following? A, the chorus members were on stage for nearly all of the 4 hours of production and sang contemporary music entirely in ancient Greek. B, the chorus members sang in slow motion and had to lower their pitches to drone the part of the chorus. Or C, the chorus members were costumed in large gray and black bags and arranged to look like rocks on a hillside.
That's a tough one, George.
You're getting help.
That's a tough one. The first one.
A.
Yeah.
That's correct. Okay, so what's our score?
Our score is Ryan 2, Dirk 1.
Ah, but luckily today, and only today, we have an extra question that if Dirk answers can tie the score. Are you ready? This is called Winging It. Located in Lincoln Park, Montrose Point Bird Sanctuary attracts tens of thousands of migratory birds to rest, eat, and shelter each spring and fall. Is that correct?
It's true.
And tell me a little bit about that. When you go there, do you see these birds?
I see the birds, and there's birders, and birders are very friendly, and birders will help you identify anything. And they like to talk about what they've seen and and
Yeah.
the names of it. Yeah, and it's a cool place.
Well, birders hang together.
They are separate and solo, but they help each other.
I would say they flock together.
I set you up for that. Okay. Over 300 species of birds have been recorded at Montrose Point Bird Sanctuary and the adjacent Montrose Beach Dunes Natural Area, making it an internationally recognized area for birding. Important migrants include most species of warblers seen in the Chicago area, thrushes, sparrows, purple martins, woodpeckers, owls, and others. Which of the following is not a bird you would find in the Montrose Bird Sanctuary? Is it A, a black-tailed gull, B, a northern saw-whet, C, a Lapland longspur, or D, a pub-styled silly sipper?
I'd have to go with the pub-styled silly sipper.
That's correct. Woo! So now what is our score?
Our score is now Ryan 2 and Dirk 2.
Well, they've tied. What does that mean?
Well, as a matter of fact, win or lose, everyone gets lucky on Shoot the Moon. Both Ryan and Dirk have won a sticker, a big Wild Rose Moon sticker, suitable for applying to one's seductively bangled Valentino Garavani handbag, Costco hot dog, Chevy Bolt EUV, plastic recycling bin, or Milwaukee battery-operated reciprocal saw. Congratulations, Ryan and Dirk. Everybody wins when we play Shoot the Moon.
Well, right after the break, we will feature more songs and conversations with Amy Dixon-Kolar, Sue Fink, and Patti Shaffner of the fabulous SongSisters.
Robert, and in memory of our dear friend, Tom Kapasinskis, Evie Marshall, and from the generosity of the Marshall County Community Foundation and the Indiana Arts Commission, you're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're here with the regional supergroup, the SongSisters. And have you ever been referred to yourselves as a supergroup?
No.
I don't think so. This is the first time, and I think we might have to hang on to that. Could you write that down so we can
Can we
Yeah.
add
quote
it
you
to our
on that?
PR?
Yeah, I was thinking like
We'll get our transcription.
also
Maybe
outfits
some
with
merch?
sequins and that kind of thing too.
Oh, yeah, that's our style.
That's right. So you've been doing this for a while, independently too. So give the people at home a little history of when you first started as SongSisters.
I started in my first live gig was in 2001 after I won $20 and the winning of a open mic, and one of the things I won was a gig. So that was my first.
And so when did we start, though?
Oh, when did we start?
When did we start?
We decided 2008, right?
I think we decided 2008.
Yeah, we decided that,
too.
yeah.
We never really know.
We just it seems like forever, like we've just been doing it.
Right.
Like we've just been sort of together.
And you
for-
just ran into each other at a mall, or how did that work?
Oh no, Sue and I met online on MySpace, but not dating.
MySpace, wow.
Yeah, but not dating. And I happened to be friends with Andrew Calhoun, and so was she. And so I was looking for other people on MySpace that I might know, and I came across Sue's song Black Sheep Kid and went, I think I need to know her.
Yeah, and then how did Amy get involved in this?
I met Amy at a folk conference.
Right,
at
a Folk Alliance.
Folk Alliance Region Midwest. And we just enjoyed each other's music. I still remember the songs you sang when I first heard you. Yeah. And we
Well, I think
became
it's time
friends.
to do another song, so let's get to it.
All right.
Okay, we will. This is a song that I wrote during the pandemic. And there's this wonderful singer-songwriter, poet, photographer, amazing human being named Jenny Binneman. And she has written a number of, she writes a haiku along with a photograph every day and posts it on Instagram and Facebook. But she also wrote, she's written 2 books, and a mini book. 2 books and a mini book. And she has also asked over the years for friends of hers who are singer-songwriters to take one of her haikus and to make it into a song. And then she has a gathering where we all play the songs. During the pandemic, it was a virtual gathering. And this song I wrote, her haiku is turned off, not for always, so down, not forever, just this moment. And that hit me because I had a number of people I knew who were really suffering during the pandemic and dealing with a lot of emotional issues. And this song came out of wanting to support them. I've turned off, but not for always, so down, but not forever. Just in this moment, bear with me, be with me, hold space with me. I need you now. Just fall back into loving arms. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. Just fall back into loving arms. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. Night so dark, night so cold, shadow creeping over my soul. Soft light shining, dawn is breaking, and there you are, knocking at my door. Just fall back into loving arms. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. Friends, you're a miracle. You take my hands when I get lost. Your presence is a gift to me, a sweet embrace, your arms enfold me. I've turned off, but not for always, so down, but not forever. Just in this moment, bear with me, be with me, hold space with me. I need you now. Just fall back into loving arms. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. Just fall back into loving arms. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. We'll keep you close and lift you up to carry on. Thank you.
Wow. I feel like all your music and the whole afternoon has been just a kind of balm for our souls. It's really been lovely to have you here and have you singing, and you're all such positive spirits. It's lovely.
Thank you.
So
Thank
give
you.
them a nice hand. They're just So if you had an ideal gig somewhere in Chicago, where would that be? If you wanted to go play in Chicago somewhere.
Can I ask for a lifeline? I'm going to ask Sue.
You know, we're kind of in between venues right now as far as the ideal venue. I have a number that I like.
Go ahead.
There's a really cool place called Jarvis Square Pottery, and it's a pottery place. And he's opened it up kind of like this is a small place. He's got a stage. It's just a really fun place. The neighborhood gathers. That would be my first off the top of my head.
I was going to say Orchestra Hall, but you know.
Well, actually, I was going to say opening for Bruce Springsteen, my boyfriend. But
I was going to say the Old Town School of Folk Music.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, that's still going strong, right?
Oh, it is, yeah.
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 That's neat. And so this, I want to hear a little more about this pottery place. So on Jarvis and what? Jarvis.
This
that's an
goes
avenue
like
or
that.
a street.
Yeah, and then there's Jarvis. And you take
This goes
it's
like this, and then
Glenwood.
there's Jarvis.
Yeah, it's right by
It's
the
hard
Jarvis.
for us to see that at home on the radio.
Sorry, I kind of did
Jeez.
a north-south movement with my hand, but it's near the Jarvis L stop, the Red Line L stop, and it's
the red line. Okay,
Yeah.
That helps. Yeah, super. Okay.
For people who know Chicago.
it's just this little neighborhood place.
And-
It's really cool. Yeah.
And all of you talked about your various influences and people you listened to when you were younger. And Patti, you were talking about a number of people who came through Indiana and in Valparaiso and stopped at various places. The Court Theater
The
being
Court
one.
Restaurant and Slammer Saloon, which is where I got my musical first gig. At the age of 31, even though I'd been performing before then, I was given an opportunity because they had open mics, and Best of Open Mic got to do a Monday night, which was a dead night. And so then we would come in and do a couple hours, and you didn't get paid, you just got to go play and get some experience on stage. And from there, the next thing you know, I was hosting the open mics and playing regular gigs over there and around the region.
Yeah, and Slammer Saloon, where is that exactly?
It's in Valparaiso. It's the same place. It was the Slammer Saloon, with the bar on one side, and the Court Restaurant. But we always just called it the Court. In fact, that's where I met my husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, interestingly enough, I played there once at the open mic.
Wait, you played the open mic
Yes,
at the Court?
I did.
On a Tuesday night?
On a Tuesday night. Yeah.
I wonder if I was there.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It wasn't evidently very memorable.
Well, you know, there were a lot of people that came across our stage. I do know that Vicki had a strict rule that if you couldn't tune your guitar, you couldn't play.
Yeah.
So we always tune because we care.
Okay. Well, I always tuned, so that was good. We'll do another song for us.
All right. Sue, do you have your... So the quick story about this song is that a friend of mine was writing for the Nashville audience, and she said, you should write a song for the Nashville audience. And one day, I, after many attempts, I decided that I actually don't do country, and that was how this song got born. But the other thing that you need to know about it was the first runner-up in 2014 in the Acorn Songwriting Contest, and they only allowed me one breath's worth of introductions. So I said, what you need to know is that I'm actually a jazz singer. I'd like to write a country song, the kind that folks could sing along, the kind of song that they might buy down in Nashville, Tennessee, the kind of song that Garth might sing. Think all the money it would bring, and that would be just fine for me, but I don't do country. Can't you see me at the Bluebird, singing the blues about the man who left me and the way I've been abused? Oh, a blue jean skirt and a sequin sweater, I could be the next Loretta. Maybe fate would treat me better, but I don't do country. Now if I was gonna make it big, Why, I'd have to buy a big blonde wig, the kind of hair that Dolly wears, and I'd have to change my name. I'd do a spot on TNN, why, then they'd have me back again. Think all the money I could spend, but I don't do country. Can't you see me at the Bluebird singing the blues about the man who left me and my troubles with the booze? Oh, a blue jean skirt and a sequin sweater, I could be the next Loretta. Ray by Trisha, I'd be better, but I don't do country. Let's hear it for the band. Never Dick and Jane and Joe, why, they'd all come out to see my show, and I'd be making so much dough, I'd buy the Country Hall of Fame. I'd buy half the state of Texas where I could hide out from all my exes, and I'd have Willie do my taxes, but I don't do country. And can't you see me at the Bluebird singing the blues about the man who left me and the way I've been abused? Oh, cowgirl boots and a sequin sweater, I could be the next Loretta. Maybe fate would treat me better, but I don't do country. But I don't do country. But I don't do sweet country. Thank you.
Wow. That's just a wonderful song. I feel all country afterwards.
Apparently I can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I was on stage. I was Bitsy Mae Harlan one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sweet, sweet gig you got there.
I think so too, and I get to do a little jazz scat at the end. Though.
Yeah, I saw you do that. I thought maybe that was a tape recorder.
Yeah, playing backwards probably.
Yeah. Well, listen, it has been such a fun thing to have you here on the radio show, and these songs are just tremendous. I am so tickled that I'm going to get to see more of this.
Yeah.
So I am real pleased you're here. Do you have anything you'd like to add before we split the scene here? Because we got.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well,
This has
thank
been
you
Thank you
so
all
much.
for being here today.
Thank you.
with us.
Thank you.
The SongSisters, everybody. Will you help us on the last?
We will indeed.
Okay, that's great.
With support from Judith Robert and in the memory of our good friend Tom Kapasinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and E. Lee Marshall, you've been listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, thank you so much to our music producer, John Baylor, our announcer, Maggie Kubley, our stage manager, Howard Gibbs, our audio engineer, Nate Butler, our photographer, Matthew Bergmoser, our video producers, Jim Yoakum and Jonathan Nixon, our hospitality coordinators and spirit guides, Jennifer Reed and Martina Sam, finance wizard Frank Filson, moonlight maker Gene Pazdurka, and special thanks to our applausologist, the voice of Jane Addams today, Michelle Schricker, for her support of the moon, its mission, and me. And also, let's give a big extra special thanks to WVPE 88.1 Public Radio for helping to make the moon shine over Michiana tonight and for the past 6 years. John,
George, I know there's more coming.
I just got to get to it. All right, will you fibrillate your fecund fingers upon that highway of desire you call your fretboard, and frack our phenethylamine from your finale finery finally.
I will fibrillate, and frack your mind. So when you think you've lost that life, oh, pain and heartache fill your soul with strife. Just remember, as you're tumbling down, it won't be long till the river goes round.
Everybody!
The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round to the very end. And when it stops, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round.
Let's do it again.
The river goes round, round, round the bend. The river goes round, round, round to the very end. And when it stops, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friend.